Hey everyone, Felix from Nintendo Life here, and today we're going to be looking at what might be next for the Mario Kart franchise. I will dive into what that exactly means, but I'm not here alone to discuss that. I have the wonderful Mr. Alex.
Oh, it's me. I'm present. Hi.
And you know who also is present? It's Sion.
I am sick and tired of this Mario Kart 8 nonsense. The game is fantastic, but come on! No, I'm just kidding. The game's very fun. I have no complaints.
So guys, it's soon in May of next year. It's 10 years since the original Mario Kart 8 released on the Wii U. That is just absolutely bonkers.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that fact.
Actually, not fun fact, unfun fact.
Yeah, can we strike that from the record, please?
And then a couple of years later, in April of 2017, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the Booster Course Pass ending here in November of this year. So it's been relevant for a really long time and it's sold loads and loads of copies. But I think we can all agree on that we are ready for something new.
Yes.
I don't know. It's like we've just been playing the same Smash Bros forever. That's kind of how Mario Kart is. It's not that it's become stale to me, but I think I just I want a new Mario Kart game. There's no way they can we talk about the fact that there's no way that if a Switch 2 comes out, there's no way they're going to do Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Plus or something like that, right? Is Deluxe over to you guys, or is Mario Kart 8 over now? Do you think is it finally time?
Yeah,
it's got to be, yeah. I mean, it's been, nearly 10 years since it was first released. And, you could argue that it was a very different game back then, but nowadays, come on, we need something fresh, we need something different. Anti-grav was fine, but, it didn't really change things up that dramatically. But at its core, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart 8 were just really, really solid kart racing games. Like, they're the gold standard. Mario Kart has always had the gold standard. But you know what? It's time for something different, Nintendo. I wish they would innovate, They're always just releasing the same games over and over again. At least that's what the internet tells me.
Yeah, and as we all know, the internet is always right. Anyway.
No one would just go on the internet and lie.
You think people do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
So I've brought you guys in because we need to think of some new ideas that they could take this franchise in, because it's almost hard to think, okay, what do they do now? Because they have so many characters, so many tracks, and the graphics, music, it's all peak. But where do we go from here, guys?
Maybe more, even more dynamic courses somehow. I couldn't tell you precisely how, but courses that change, sort of depending on what you do. So, for example, not just like shortcuts, but how in Hyrule Circuit, if you hit those three switches, and then all of a sudden there's a middle thing that appears, and you can go and you can hit the Master Sword for a bit of a boost. I want to see more of that, more like almost collaborative course changes, where realistically one person can do it, but it's flipping hard. So you kind of have to weigh up, is it worth me hitting all these because I'm kind of aiding and abetting other people? No, but then it could help me, and also you've got to sort of, one thing I always love, even when it doesn't go in my favor, is just, sort of you miss the middle one. You hit the first one, hit the second one, you just think, okay, I'm just going to go down the middle and hope someone else hits it. And it's so rewarding when someone does, but it's also just like, you drive force, and you just go, boom, and it's just like, oh, for God's sake. But it's great fun. I really enjoy it. So a whole game based around that.
I think there was a game, it was either Split Second or Blur during like the 360 PS3 era. And I'd never played either of them, but I heard a lot of good things about both of them. In one of those games, I think Blur was kind of a kart racer, and I think Split Second was actually the one that is what I'm about to reference. But they had dynamic tracks, I believe, where you would race through the level and things would change on repeat laps. And I don't remember if it was because of things that the player did or if it just happened. But I really like the idea that you pitch, Alex, about this kind of like collaborative effort. And I think that's kind of an important thing for Nintendo games, as well as like getting family and friends to get together and have fun and shout and get mad at each other and gang up and become a team, and I think it'd be really fun to see more opportunities like that for families to just stand up off the couch and yell at each other and but I mean, because that's what playing games is all about, is just having fun and kicking back and relaxing, and I feel like Mario Kart, like when I play with my friends, I think it always ends up being like one or two people in the room are really, really good, and then everybody else just like plays and is really down on themselves and gets sad and is like, man, I'm not very good, am I? But like if they can contribute to like the overall, like this kind of not great or good, but this more fun task together, that would be cool.
I think it would also be really cool if the, sort of not necessarily all of them, but these sort of like track adjustments could be, sort of almost exclusively requires more than one person, because then the person in first would always be at a disadvantage because they couldn't get it because they're out in front. Whereas before, and it happens a lot in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I know the blue shell is a balancing thing, but even then, all things considered, if you're in first in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you are, unless you're rubbish at the game, you are likely to stay there. And I know there are some people that like hang at the back and keep falling off the edge until they get a Starman and a Bullet Bill or something like that. But, that's people bending the rules and being, boring non-players, frankly. But the, sort of the idea that the player in first inherently has a disadvantage and cannot get these shortcuts, I don't know. I just think that that's an interesting way around, sort of, yeah, you're in first. Yeah, you're winning, but they're on your tail.
Yeah, they're trying to gang up on you, and
more sort of almost maybe sort of forces more of a collaborative effort for the people who aren't in first, and it also it allows for players in second, third, etc., to catch up to first position without there having to be rubber banding or relying on RNG in regards to things like the blue shell, which you wouldn't even get in second, third, and fourth place. I often find being in like fourth place is really rough in Mario Kart. You're not far back enough to get decent items, but you're also not really at the front. So, it would help people in fourth, which is often me.
Yeah, we're gonna really have to email Nintendo some of these ideas, get them down, and
So, if it's ideas you guys want, I have loads written down. So I thought I would go through some of them and we can discuss what we think. So I know you guys are talking about, you want it to be more fair. You want places more behind to actually catch up. But actually, I would love there to be a mode without items where you only have 3 mushrooms, like in Time Trial, because what I don't quite like about Mario Kart is how much, there is a lot of skill, but when playing online, I hate I'm racing my best and then suddenly I just get hit by a bajillion items and it feels so unfair. So I would just love a mode, where people who don't really enjoy the items can go and just race and really, where it's more skill and less luck. And you still have the regular Mario Kart, so it wouldn't be taking anything away.
I like that idea. To be honest, I'd like the idea to just have a bit like Smash, where you can turn off items entirely, or you can have like just bombs.
Yeah.
And you can do that, in Versus on the Switch.
It's not quite the same, is it, as being able to like... Imagine if there was like almost like a sort of like a Halo playlist where it was, sort of, I want to play Mario Kart, and my preferred way, you probably have to be a preferred way, is shells only or something like that,
Yeah. I wonder if the reason, because that's a really good idea, but I wonder if the reason Nintendo hasn't done it is because, like with Smash Bros, you have this almost, it's not a stigma, but this has happened to me where you go to somebody's house and you go to play and you set up and you don't use items and you never played with this person before and they're like, where are the items? Like, and they just, that's not how they play, and then you don't want to play with items because all your friends don't do that. But then it almost makes it so like when you do play with items, it doesn't feel like a fair battle, because like, oh, what if the person got a Master Ball in and a big Pokemon came out and destroyed you, or so it just creates this, I don't know, items in Smash create like an unfair advantage, and I suppose that's what Mario Kart's doing right now, but yeah, I wonder if there's a reason they haven't done that yet, because I think it could just change the, like, imagine going to somebody's house and they, like, yeah, they don't want to play with items in Mario Kart, and it's like, well, that is Mario Kart. And I'm not trying to poo-poo your idea either. I just
no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just me being mad that I always get bad luck when I'm playing online. But that's also the part of Mario Kart, and I guess that they wouldn't want to change that. That's just something that I would like to see. But you were talking about items. I thought an interesting thing they could do in the next game is focus more on like unique and creative items, maybe some character-specific items, so there's actually a reason to pick this character.
Double
over
Dash.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't played much Double Dash before, so is that, maybe both of you can enlighten me on that. But yeah, did characters or teams have unique items that
Specific characters had specific items, like DK and Diddy had a giant banana that was obviously a lot bigger, being giant, and when you drove into it, it would split into 3 smaller bananas, I want to say.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a special weapon, the Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, they had a chain chomp that would pull them forward, a bit like a Bullet Bill, to be honest, in Mario Kart 8. And Mario and Luigi would have fireballs, which is now just an item.
Yeah, so just...
Oh, and Bowser! Bowser would have like a big shell.
Yeah,
and
that's
it was
right.
really big.
and Yoshi and Birdo would have a giant egg.
Yeah.
Big egg. So yeah, just more wackiness with the items. Instead of just going have no items, go the other route. Have loads of items that are just fun to use and can help maybe balance the game a bit more. And another thing I would really like to see is go ham with the character inclusions. We already have characters like the villager, Inkling, Link, but just do Smash Kart.
Yeah, sort of get the whole cast of Diddy Kong Racing in there. Who doesn't want to see Tip Top and Timber?
Well, you make a good point though with that, which that was one thing I wanted to bring up was, do you think that this is finally the time where Nintendo's dipped their toes in having different characters from different series in Mario Kart? We have the Mercedes from everyone's favorite video game.
That's so weird that's in the game.
yeah, Nintendo getting that bag.
I remember years and years ago, I'm talking like probably 2015 and 16 maybe, like before Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. People were talking about Super Smash Kart, as if, that was going to be the next logical step. And I think that is, and I think I said this like that many years ago as well. I think that is probably a likely next step, and we saw it a bit with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the inclusion of the Inklings. But I think it'll still be called Mario Kart, because all that brand identity. If you change the title, you lose that.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people go to the comments and say, oh, but Smash is really big. And it's like, yeah, big. But, Smash may be big, but Mario Kart is like Mario Kart big, baby. It's huge. They would have more luck changing Super Smash Bros. To be called Mario Kart Fighters than they would be to do it the other way around.
Yeah. And Sonic's tried that already with their kart racer, right? Like you've had Team Sonic Racing, I think is the most recent one, and then there was like Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing.
Yeah.
Which is just it's not it's an unfortunate naming. It's an unfortunate title.
Sonic and All-Stars Racing is what they called it.
Oh, is that what it is?
There was like a tennis one where it was Sonic and Sega All-Stars, which makes more sense, but sounds worse.
Yeah, that's right.
God, that tennis game. Now I want it.
It's also fascinating. Oh, well, it's interesting to think about, well, what will the next, if there's going to be a gimmick, what's going to be the next gimmick? I actually don't think they should go away from anti-grav. I think that should still be in the game because it allows for some really interesting track designs, and I just would like to see more of it. But what would you think would be like, oh, this would be like the perfect gimmick for the next logical step?
I genuinely think just do Smash Kart. I know that sounds really lame, but I not a fighting game. But I think I want to see
Everyone
that.
controls like Wario.
I want to see an Everyone Is Here Mario Kart game where they take that entire cast from Mario Kart 8 and then they just give us that anticipation that we had with like seeing what characters were gonna come to Smash, but for Mario Kart instead, throw Banjo-Kazooie in there again. Put those Diddy Kong, do a Diddy Kong Racing the pack or something like that, or a season, not a season pass, but
Racers Pass.
I feel like if they, if that was the gimmick with different characters, I feel like they had to do something to differentiate. So it's not just, because it's, at the end of the day, it's weight classes, but if they could do something interesting, so this character can do this and that character can do that, so it actually makes sense why you would choose one character over the other. In Smash Bros, it's not just, oh, that's the character, now they have unique movesets. So if they did something, maybe items, like we said before, I could definitely see that.
I really like that
happening.
idea a lot. Yeah.
I like the idea. I really don't see them doing it because I think Nintendo. I know that there's weight classes and things like that, but I think Nintendo specifically want characters to. They want people to be able to just pick their character that they want to play as.
Yeah,
and I could be wrong, but say, oh, I want to play as Donkey Kong. You commit to, okay, he's a heavyweight, you learn how to play as him. But if you I want to play as Donkey Kong, but I want Mario's grapple vine technique or something. Like DK wouldn't have a grapple vine, but let's not focus on that side of it. But maybe a badge system like in Wonder. So you can have you've got a bigger jump when you press R or something like that. That's rubbish. But, the idea is there.
I just jump out of bounds. Oh, well, I'm out of the race. Or like Death Mario Kart. If you fall off the course, you're just out of the race. It's like an
That's called F-Zero!
Yeah. But just since we're not getting a new F-Zero, let's just do it in Mario Kart.
Oh, what if Nintendo, the next Mario Kart was just an F-Zero game?
But with Mario characters.
No, it's just F-Zero, and they call it Mario Kart.
Fair enough.
Mario's not in it. He's like, I don't know, he's the umpire or something.
Nintendo, like in the trailer, they're like, our hands were tied.
So, I think some things that I would like to see is I like aspects of having a different lap each time. I don't like how they did it with the tour tracks, because there were giant errors and it was not very intuitive. But maybe, it's essentially just one giant lap. I would like to see that, with Mount Wario, Big Blue. I love the long courses, and just I would just love to see more of that, because when they execute it good, they can be brilliant. Now, a thing that is that they
unless
can...
it's Rainbow Road N64, in which case it should be 3 out. Oh,
I was just about to mention that that is too short. So if they
it's
do,
too damn short.
They have to just make them a bit longer. But also, maybe a night and day system, like variants of courses. So they're just a bit different. Maybe at day you have this track, and at night it's changed. I don't know how it would be changed. Maybe it's just a harder variant of the course. That would actually be really cool.
Or you can't see as well.
How would you feel if the new Mario Kart just didn't have any old tracks? It was just all new ones. All new.
I would be okay
I'd be
with
up
it.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. As long as they're not like Tor.
I would still like to see the old tracks, because it is really nice to see how they remake the tracks. And I think especially in Mario Kart 8, they did a fantastic job bringing some of the older tracks into the modern age. And if they do it like that, well, I would be also okay with them just keep on going and having it half-half.
I would also like to see some more big levels, like you were saying with Mount Warrior there too, because some of those are the most, in recent years, they're the most memorable ones for me, I think.
Yeah. And for the love of God, just give us custom cards for each character instead of the customization card. I enjoyed so much more when it was like the different characters had unique designs for cards.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I preferred it overall. It was an interesting idea, and it allowed you to have your character but play as you like to a degree, sort of wiggle those stats. But yeah, I miss like the DK big barrel thing.
Yeah,
and the carts that don't make sense with customization in mind,
It feels like they took some of the personality away when they introduced that in 7. So
a little, yeah.
Yeah, it was
like
fun
Rob's
to have.
Cart. Rob's Cart in DS, he had all those little things, like the spinny things, the gyromitoids. That's what they're called.
And while Luigi had his excavator in DS.
Oh, yeah. No, that was weird. That
But
was weird.
Fun,
I
but
wasn't.
it was fun. I liked it.
It was fun, but like it confused young me. I was like, this isn't an impractical vehicle to race with.
Waluigi would never do that.
Also, I've just realized, is that a Foreman Spike reference?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
That's
He
fun.
looks a bit like him. Bit. He's got a big nose.
So I can't believe that I almost forgot about this idea. But so, we have a lot of kart racing competitors on the market now. There's Chocobo Racing is back. There's Crash Team
Garfield
Racing.
Kart.
We need like
Don't forget DreamWorks Car.
DreamWorks Kart, Garfield Kart, Starfield Kart is on the horizon. Yep. There's
Kart.
Bluey Kart. That one's not real. Starfield Kart isn't, I don't think, either yet. Maybe. But there's a lot of competitors on the market, and the one. The most memorable for me of those that genre at least is Crash Team Racing, which had a single player adventure mode. And I'm surprised that of all the sports games that have had story modes from Nintendo or with Nintendo characters, how Mario Kart, to my knowledge, still hasn't had one yet. So yeah, just imagine kind of like a single player, or maybe you can do a 2-player story mode with friends. And I don't know how that story would go at all, but I would just love to see more single player objectives and a big grand adventure, because we know Mario Kart is worth it, right? Like they can spend some budget on a campaign.
Yeah, definitely. And I really liked the campaign in Mario Strikers when I played that on Wii. That had it wasn't like a big campaign, but it was like you played against certain characters and you had to beat them with certain conditions. Maybe it's just something simple like that, but I still think that would be really fun to have. Because the closest we've had to that is mission mode in Mario Kart DS, where it is you get like custom missions and stuff like that. But if they maybe can have an overarching plot, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. But actually, love it to be crazy. Just some weird stuff. Mario goes to a different like dimension through this portal, and maybe that's the thing. Take Mario Kart to new and fresh locations and have completely different tracks.
Well, we've seen it to a degree with Wonder. What about if Wonder Flowers are a thing in Mario Kart 9?
Oh my god, yes, I saw that. Someone talked about that on
really?
Twitter. Super Mario.
It's not the most original idea. I can't be too proud of that.
No, it's like Mario Kart Wonder, and I just thought, yes, that is an awesome idea, and I really like that you brought it up because I completely forgot. I would love it to see it going that way. But what is like some stuff that you would love to just remain the same? Because for me, it's like keep the music, like jazz, big band, that works wonderfully.
Oh yeah.
I wish they would turn off auto steering
by default
and all that. Yeah, by default. That's
by default, yeah. I was not like the biggest fan of it when it first was a thing. That was a bit of a narrow-minded mindset by my part, but at the same time, by default, no, turn that off, baby. This is Mario Kart. This is not some baby game.
You'd be surprised how many babies play, though, right?
And also, I know I said stuff I want to keep the same, but one final thing. Please make the game just a bit harder, because it is way too easy against CPUs. Like, way too easy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They need to improve those.
Yeah, I think maybe if they just had just a harder difficulty, It's
Exactly.
200 c. Keep 200 cc.
Yes. Nice.
Don't get rid of it.
I love
And don't
200
really
cc.
plan the courses around 200 cc, because that was always the most fun when you had to like wrangle the courses. And I know, sort of some people would say, oh, but you say you don't like the tour tracks and they're too sharp, the corners. And it's like, that's a whole different argument,
Yeah,
I
we're
just
not
wanted
talking
to
about that
acknowledge
today.
it. Yeah. But I love
think
200cc. When it was first revealed, I was just like, what? But it only goes up to 150. Why is it 200? What's going on? I loved it.
I'm still too old and dusty for 200cc. Maybe one day these bones will get there, but I'm sticking with my 150, which I barely get by with.
But I think at the end of the day, they will create something spectacular. They every time they make like a proper new Mario Kart, it's always a great time. So I think it'll be grand. And my belief is that they'll have it ready for the next console.
Yeah, I mean,
They may be sitting on it already. We don't know.
That's what I think they're working on it, like, besides the booster course pass. That's the only logical thing in my mind.
I mean, Pikmin 4 was revealed to be basically done in, like, what, 2015?
Which is so weird, yeah, because
it went through changes from what I understand. I don't, I'm not suggesting it was exactly as it was, but yeah, from what I understand, it, like, Miyamoto, maybe he shouldn't have said it was nearly complete, but he said it anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's because they only needed to design the dog, Ochi, but then they spent 8 years doing so.
8 years well spent.
But anyway, thank you guys for coming with your ideas. I think no matter what, it'll be really exciting to see what Nintendo has up their sleeve for the next Mario Kart. And thank you all for watching, for making it to the end. What are some of your ideas that you would like to see in the next entry of Mario Kart? Well, let us know down in the comments below. And if you like this video, why don't you grab that Wonder Flower and drive around until you see a really weirdly shaped subscribe button and give it a little click. Alright, that was everything from us. Stay safe, play some Mario Kart while we wait for the next entry, and we'll see you in the next one. Felix, Alex, and Sion from Nintendo Life. Out.
Beep beep. Beep 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 beep. Don't take the horn out of Mario Kart. I love it.